Hello and welcome to The Print. I am Disha Vashisht. With 2025 coming to a close, let us look at the six most impactful judgments delivered by the Supreme Court of India this year. With India's judiciary dealing with a pendency of over 4 crore cases, of which about 90,000 lie before the Supreme Court alone, the Apex Court delivered these six landmark judgments that recalibrated constitutional boundaries amid political turbulence and institutional strain. SKMD Anisur Rahman versus State of Bengal. In this landmark case, the court dealt with introspective issues of judicial discipline and the finality of verdicts. Anisur Rahman, accused in a political rival's murder after multiple rejected bail pleas, approached the Supreme Court and was granted bail in January 2025. Subsequently, he approached the Supreme Court with a plea to modify strict bail conditions placed upon him. Refusing to alter the stringent bail conditions imposed by a prior bench, the court held that altering the conditions would amount to dilution of the original bail order's intent. The court noted the need to prevent endless litigation requires that the sanctity and finality of verdicts be maintained. It held that reopening of settled issues, because a later view may be preferable, not only undermines Article 141 but also erodes the public's confidence in the justice system. Referring to the impact and scope of Article 141, the court opined that precedents set by the Supreme Court must resolve the controversy and be followed by all courts. Speaking on the doctrinal importance of finality being attached to judicial orders, the court noted that reopening of decisions without an error in the decision would defeat judicial discipline and propriety, for which deference to old decisions is must. Satyendra Kumar Antil versus CBI. Satyendra Kumar Antil, accused of bribery, criminal conspiracy, and offences under Prevention of Corruption Act, failed to appear before the court even after summons for his appearance were issued in his trial, instead choosing to file an anticipatory bail application before the Allahabad High Court. Rejecting this bail application, the High Court issued a non-bailable warrant against him, which Antil appealed before the Supreme Court. Building on its foundational directives of bail jurisprudence, the Supreme Court emphasized previously laid guidelines in Arnesh Kumar versus State of Bihar, noting liberty as an essential for the fundamental freedoms of a citizen under the Indian Constitution. With the judgment reiterating the principle that bail is the rule and jail the exception, has been well recognized through repetitive pronouncements of this court. This again is on the touchstone of Article 21 of the Constitution. It issued strict guidelines for under trials, stating they must be released on personal bond if charges are bailable. For non-bailable offences, magistrates must classify cases by gravity, mandating liberty unless exceptional risks exist. State of Tamil Nadu versus Governor of Tamil Nadu. The Tamil Nadu government approached the Supreme Court challenging Governor R.N. Ravi's decision to keep various bills and proposals submitted by the state pending for action for over 3 years. Deciding on the question of whether courts may impose procedural timelines on constitutionally discretionary powers, in this landmark federalism case, the Supreme Court invalidated the governor's pocket veto, or the indefinite withholding of legislative assent. The court ruled, settling a 3-month outer limit for the governor's actions on the bills that have been enacted by the state legislature. However, the president referred 14 questions to the Supreme Court seeking clarity about the scope of Article 200 and Article 201 regarding review of bills, timelines, discretion, and scope of judicial review, among others. Answering the reference, a constitution bench, pronouncing its opinion through the then Chief Justice B.R. Gavai, critiqued the one-size-fits-all timeline approach, finding that the nature and complexity of bills should inform deliberation periods. It reasserted that the dialogic process under Article 200 and 201 is not adjudicatory. It clarified the position on the law on executive dialogue. All India Judges Association versus Union of India. In a decision that affected lakhs of judiciary aspirants dealing with the core issues of eligibility for recruitment of civil judges and seniority disputes in promotions, the All India Judges Association challenged the diverse practices and inconsistent application of recruitment and promotion rules for the higher judicial services across states. The court upheld a mandatory 3-year practice requirement for civil judge junior division recruitment, balancing merit with practical experience. The court observed that fresh law graduates lack courtroom readiness, the ability to manage case complexities, evidentiary disputes, and witness examination. It directed uniform guidelines to be put in place across states, emphasizing training over rote qualifications. The court also restored limited departmental competitive examination quota for district judge promotions from 10% to 25%, noting that this quota is calculated based on the total cadre strength rather than annual vacancies, and it ensures uniformity across states while preventing administrative imbalances. Amlesh Kumar versus State of Bihar. In a judgment clarifying the criminal jurisprudence of India, the Apex Court drew a decisive constitutional line against the use of neurotechnological coercion in criminal investigations. the Supreme Court struck down a Patna High Court order allowing such tests as a bail condition in a dowry harassment case. The court reiterated that narco-analysis, brain mapping, polygraphs cannot form the sole basis for conviction. The court deemed such practices as violative of Article 20, Clause 3 and self-incrimination protections. The court reiterated principles from Selvi versus Karnataka, a 2010 landmark judgment that is the foundational precedent for scientific investigative techniques, prioritizing voluntariness and dignity over coerced confessions. It further clarified that even where an accused voluntarily consents to narco-analysis, the tests cannot form the sole basis of conviction. Noting that the appropriate stage for any voluntary test is at the stage of evidence of the accused and not during investigation or bail hearings. The court prioritized fundamental rights of accused persons over what may appear as a modern investigative necessity. It noted that the trial court must evaluate whether consent provided is genuine, if constitutional safeguards are met, and if the test is truly necessary. Definition of Aravalli Hills and Aravalli Ranges and ancillary issues. The Supreme Court took suo motu cognizance of decades-old inconsistencies in the definition between various states on which landforms would fall under the banner of Aravalli Hills for the purposes of legal protection and ecological conservation. In November 2025, the bench accepted a committee recommendation proposing an elevation-based definition, with Aravalli Hills being defined as landforms with minimum 100 meters elevation above local relief, and Aravalli Ranges being defined as two or more such hills within 500 meters of each other. After significant backlash from environmental groups, scientists, and residents across states in the Save Aravalli campaign about concerns that the new definition would exclude approximately 90% of the Aravalli landscape from legal protection, excluding vast low-lying slopes, plateaus, and interconnected geological formations that are ecologically integral to the range. Taking suo motu cognizance again, in an urgent vacation bench hearing on 29th December, the Apex Code stayed the implementation of the November judgment. The court noted that the elevation-based taxonomy created a structural paradox and was riddled with scientific inaccuracy, and a fair, impartial, and independent expert opinion was necessary. The court has now ordered a constitution of a new high-powered independent expert committee to assess the report and examine these issues. With the recent stay on the implementation of the Supreme Court order in the Aravalli Hills case and the implicit reversal in the state of Tamil Nadu versus Governor of Tamil Nadu, another aspect worth noting in the judicial landscape of 2025 is the Supreme Court's reversal of its own earlier legal positions this year. In City Hounded by Stray Dogs, Kids Pay the Price, taking suo motu cognizance of a Times of India report of the same title, a division bench of the Supreme Court passed an aggressive order mandating that all stray dogs in Delhi NCR must be captured within 8 weeks, housed permanently in shelters, ordering municipalities to construct the required shelters within the given time frame. Later, a larger bench recalling the order took note of contradictions in the order with the 2024 Supreme Court ruling in Animal Welfare Board of India versus People for Elimination of Stray Doubles, which held compassion towards animals as a constitutional value, and the judgment of Animal Welfare Board of India versus A. Nagaraja, which extended the right to life under Article 21 to animals. Characterizing the original order as too harsh and idealistic, the bench took note of the incapability of the municipalities to fulfill the original directions in the given time frame. It issued new directions mandating sterilization, deworming, and vaccination of stray dogs before releasing them back to their locality. It also ordered setting up of dedicated feeding zones in each municipal ward, while public street feeding was prohibited. Thank you for watching. Please follow the print for more such updates.